Hi, and welcome to Lynes on Design. 'Tis the season. We're here today. Mike has joined me, and every year we try to make Christmas. Make it fun, make it natural, and make it our own home. So we thought it might be fun during this holiday season to show you some easy ways to decorate your home and give some gifts that people will actually enjoy having. What we're going to do is we'll kind of tell you the agenda today so you'll know what to expect. We're going to make 3 or 4 different things and show you how to do it so you can actually do them at home. First thing we'd like to do is we're going to make a candy dish. I've eaten half of the Hershey's Kisses off of here, but we're going to show you how to do that, and it's a lot of fun, very easy to do. And it's actually a great activity to do with the kids. We did it last night when we were watching a movie and chatting away.
Sleepy.
Yeah, exactly. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to make an ice
bowl.
Exactly. And I use the ice bowl we'll show it to you in a few minutes. It is an ice bowl that holds a candle that you can sit and make it as use it as a centerpiece. I put shrimp around it to keep my shrimp cold. You can really do a lot of things with it. It's pretty wonderful.
And it's very easy to do.
It is very easy to do. And once we show you how to do it, you'll be like, oh my goodness. And then the third thing we're going to do is we're going to do a little deconstruction. We're going to deconstruct a night before Christmas goodie if you have kids or grandkids who are antsy and can't wait until the next day to get their present. This is a great little idea to calm them down, don't you think?
Yes.
All right, let's get started. First thing we're going to do. Oh, and I didn't even talk about the coolest thing. If we don't have time, we're going to do that next week. But this is another great thing that we want everyone to see, too, and that is a wine carrier that Mike whipped up last night for me when we were thinking about things that we really needed to do. So, first thing we're going to do is this candy dish. All right, Mike, talk me through what we're actually going to do.
Well, we take standard peppermints, okay, and you take all the wrappers off. And you keep them into a bowl for the time being.
Yep.
Let me move these for us.
Exactly. This is parchment paper. You can do this on a Silpat, which is a silicone-based sheet, or you can use parchment paper. If you use the parchment, I like it. It's easy. It's inexpensive. You don't need any extra grease or anything. It stays really slippery. It can actually be used up until 450 degrees before it burns, which is great. So, okay.
So basically you just want to start right in the center and start putting these things around it.
Each mint.
And don't worry, because these mints are not the same size, which means they don't always sit where you want them to sit.
Well, and I laughed because as we were doing this last night, we did about 450,312 bowls trying to make them symmetrical. And bad news,
they're not.
They're never going to be symmetrical. Good news, that's kind of the beauty of something that's handmade. Each bowl that you make will have its own character and personality. And I like that better anyway. One of the things you can do with these bowls, you can put candy in them. We actually put some votive candles in and lit them, and it had a beautiful, beautiful smell. Totally aside, one of the things that we were talking about with design, how to make your home smell good during the holiday season, when you don't really have any cinnamon or any garland around to simmer, is take coffee beans. This is a great tip. Put a candle in them and light it. The coffee beans will give off so much beautiful aroma. It really is amazing. I love it. Okay, Mikey, what you doing now?
All right, so I've got these things basically in a circle.
Okay.
Okay. And you get them as tight as you can without, it's kind of like herding cats, you know, so it's really difficult to get them perfect, but you get them basically what you want to, in a kind of a round area.
Yeah.
Area. Then you just simply put them in the oven.
300 degrees. And you do this, watch your oven, and most people know how their own oven cooks. Mine cooks pretty much true to temperature, so at 300 degrees it takes about 8 minutes. And it's pretty amazing what we see. While we're waiting for this to bake for the 8 minutes, let's do a little deconstructing. We have 8 grandchildren, right? And the oldest one is now 11 years old. And inevitably on Christmas Eve, everyone is excited and they're antsy, and we've done our one gift exchange with the person, and it's time to go to bed to wait for Santa Claus. And we get a little pushback. So we
get a lot of
pushback. So we thought it might be fun to put together one box per kid, per child. And within that box, have some things that are really ubiquitous, that really are for any age, that the kids can enjoy and feel as though they're getting a real treat. I went to Walmart and just got some boxes, and I think you can get 3 or 4 for about $4 or $5. But let's look at some of the things that I thought would make a lot of sense for a child. I got everyone an ornament. And again, interestingly enough, and we're going to show you this, you can make an ornament out of your candy. And we'll show you that in just a minute. Candy cane, which is awesome and not going to be too much trouble. One of the things that I feel really strongly about is bringing back some history. And Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, of course, is an icon and a tradition forever. And this book was, I think, a 1952 version that was yours when you were little. I found upstairs. So we've got one for each of the kids that they can read, and then they sort of go back. You know, traditions are part of the beauty of holidays. It's not as much what they get, it's if they really enjoy it.
Correct. I mean, it's what makes the holidays the holidays.
Exactly. But in today's world, we do all have to have our chapstick, even though we're in the South. So that's always a fun one, too.
Yeah, and, well.
Right, Mike's like, what? But all of our kids, whether they are 2 or 11, like to play cards. And, you know, you can start out with concentration. How many years have you been playing cards?
Since I can remember.
Exactly. And how many years have you danced in the Nutcracker, or at least, yeah.
How many times have I seen it with all my kids and all my nieces and nephews?
Exactly.
I don't know. I could dance every part.
We laugh about it all the time. Okay. We've got that. And then it's always nice to have a pair of fuzzy socks. I didn't actually recycle these because the kids seem to really like these. And the sillier, the better. And actually, you can get at the dollar store or whatever, you can get 3 or 4 pair for very inexpensive. And it's something, again, that the kids really like. And last but not least, I love a throw. And it's something that the kids can cuddle up with every year. Once again, they can take them home, or I've collected them over the years, and the kids come every year, and they're so excited to find their own personal little snuggly throw that they can be comfortable with. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We are going to take a look and see how are our peppermints doing.
Yeah, they're beginning to get shiny.
They're beginning to get shiny. And while we're doing that, let's talk for a second about what else you can make. Can you run to the fridge for me?
Sure.
You know, we're talking about ornaments. And this ornament was actually made with candy canes, okay? But what we did last night, just this one.
No,
we don't want to show this one yet.
We don't want to show.
No, because that's our final product.
Oh,
silly Mike, silly
Mike.
Mike.
We will show this one because this is Debbie's attempt at one by herself.
I know. What do you think? Not all of us
huh?
are as talented as we could be. It started as a Christmas tree, but in making an ornament, we thought, how fun. What's her name that is all over? Who's the shark? Who's the shark that goes on? Yeah, Mary is all over.
Mary.
I don't know, but there's a shark that Mary Lynn that is all over, and I think that this would be a great thing. Mike's going to drill a little hole through there. We're going to put a ribbon in, and then we'll hang it from the tree. So just know that these peppermint sticks can do fabulous things. And they're yummy too. You can always eat them. All right, we deconstructed this.
And we have about 3 more minutes or so
on our goodies. All right, so let's talk a little bit about when you're working with peppermint, when you're working with any kind of candy. One of the things that you need to know is it gets really, really, really hot. Sugar heats up to a real high temperature.
And it's sticky, so it burns, and if you get it on it burns for a very long time, which can create real big problems. You can do this with kids, but you have to be careful. You know, I That's why I try to always be here when I'm doing it with her.
I love it. Well, it's a lot of fun to do, but just know that you don't always have to do Starlight Mints. You can also do things like Jolly Ranchers. You can do lollipops. You can do lots of different things like that. All right, let's check and see how these are doing. All right, you want to stop for a sec?
Quite.
Okay.
Not quite there yet.
Not quite there. So we'll just keep on bloviating until this gets finished. The next thing we're going to do, let's talk about that, okay? We're gonna talk a little bit about our ice sculpture. Do we have one that we can show?
We do.
Let's
you
do.
want me to pull it out? And line
Yeah,
it?
let's pull this out. We're going to show you while we're waiting for our peppermints to finish cooking, if you will, or melting. This is kind of a fun little thing. This is an ice bowl. Looks pretty fancy, doesn't it? Well, it's really pretty easy to make. And like I said at the very beginning, you can put these, make about 6 or 7, line them on your table, put garland around them, LED lights, or votive candles, and they will last, I think, probably about 8 hours. We've done a gazillion of these, and in the evening, the reflection is absolutely elegant and gorgeous. So
And
go ahead.
one of the things you remember, right now it's frosting because we just took it out of the refrigerator. You can actually get a mister and spray it, and it will actually clear up.
That's what's really pretty about it, too.
Or just a simple damp rag.
Yes. But these are some of the things that we talk about all the times that are super easy to do, but actually turn out gorgeous. We're going to take a break here on Lines on Design. Stay with us. We'll be right back. We'll show you our finished candy cane project. Oh, there we go. We'll show you actually how to create one of these lovely ice candles. So stay with us. There's a lot more to come. We are back here on Lines on Design, and we are having a wonderful time today, Mike and I. We are doing some homemade gifts for the holiday season and actually place things that we can use as centerpieces. We're really excited about that. We're making candy bowls. We're also making ice sculptures that hold votive candles or can hold cranberries and greenery for table centerpieces. We're going to put this back in the, actually,
Well,
I'll do that.
Let's just set it aside.
All right, I'll sit it right over here. And do you want to grab our candy canes out? Now, what we've been doing, and we did before we left you all, was we cut our candy cane. We melted our candy canes. Let me see if I can get this little guy that I just upside down twisted too. Mike, you're going to have to fix him. There you go. Isn't this the beauty of TV? I love live TV. It's awesome.
All right,
This is why I don't do this at home alone. Okay, here's what we do. We take the candy canes out, the Starlight Mints. They've been in a 300-degree oven for about 8 to 10 minutes. We give them about 30 seconds or so to set. Okay? Now remember, they're hot. So if you're doing this with your kids, don't do what I did yesterday, which is stick my finger in to see how really warm they were, because they're very hot. Okay.
All right, so basically, they're still fairly hard. So you put this in the center. And you have
the magic of Mike's talent.
Flip it over.
All right, you show them that, and I'm going to run and get the one that we've made already, too. I don't know where it went.
Right there.
Oh, I'm
There
sorry.
we go.
He was hiding it from me.
Now, once you kind of get it squished around there, then you can peel off the paper, and it's beginning to cool off. So at this point,
Hot.
it's still warm,
Ooh,
but
yeah,
it's
they're
not.
hot.
It's not horrible.
And the fun thing, we told you before in the first segment, you can do so many interesting things with these. We've made ornaments. The Mary Lee,
Mary Lynn.
Mary Lynn, whoever, the shark.
And that is simply a cookie cutter.
Yes.
Keep it flat, and while it's still hot, you push it down through it.
Mm-hmm. Just like dough. It's just exactly
Just like dough.
sugar. Yeah, sugar.
But you let it cool at that point, and then you can lift this off and just break away the pieces that are not there.
And what I'm going to do...
This is probably cool enough.
Right. And while you're doing that, you can see how pretty they are. We're going to put these around our table for the holidays and fill them full of different kinds of candy for the kids. But you can see how adorable they are. And we were talking about making ornaments out of them. You can make trays, you can make big platters that you can carry things. So there's all kinds of really cool things. So this is number 1. Let's go back now and talk a little bit while I fill up this one about how to make our giant ice globe.
Okay.
Okay. I am going to let you start, and then you're going to sneak out and go fill this up.
All right, it's very simple.
Very complicated.
Water goes in balloon. Very first thing you do is blow it up.
All right.
Therefore, it stretches out.
That's pretty. We're a very technical group here.
Then you find the bowl of the shape that you want. And this one, because it has this little lip on it, will give it that little ridge right there. If you don't want that ridge, then you need to find one that's completely round. You do want one that has a flat bottom. And the reason is once this thing comes out, it has a flat bottom also, and therefore it will sit for you.
We know all the tips of the trade, and
I'm
we
going to
know
go fill
that.
this up.
Oh, you go fill that up. We know all the tips of the trade when it comes to making handmade projects, because we have learned that if it can be a problem, I will find it. Mike is usually the one that comes up with all the solutions, which is great. But I'm going to tell you, this is one of the easiest things you can do. And it really works beautifully. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and light this if I can and show you how we did it. I like to, and we didn't talk about this, but fill this halfway with water, add cranberries, and I add blue spruce or some kind of garland in here, and I float that too, and it's absolutely exquisite. And then because cranberries float, you can get an LED light, one of the little tea lights, and float that on top of here. And we're just talking about things that look absolutely glorious, are simple to do, inexpensive, like zero, and will last throughout your evening if you're having a party. So I like this a lot. And you know, what we're talking about is, again, holiday gift giving. And not just holiday gift giving, but holiday gift giving that people actually want what you're giving. And we're trying to do things that are kid-friendly too. Okay, here comes Mikey, back with our magic here.
All right, so I've done nothing more than fill the balloon up, tied it off. I always fill it in the bowl, therefore I don't have to take a chance of it popping and going out. And then you simply put this in the freezer for about 12 hours. The longer means that you get thicker sides.
Yeah, but tell people how it.
Well, because it freezes from the outside in.
Right.
The inside will always stay water unless you leave it in there for 24 hours, and then it'll freeze solid. So at about 12 hours, the outside will be about a ½ inch thick, and the inside will be water still.
Do we have one that we could show?
I do. Just 1 second.
We are so prepared today. Let me move this. So now you sort of see the stages, which is really kind of fun.
Now, so this is a frozen one. We've not cut it yet. I'm going to take my knife. Let me.
Okay. Sorry.
Right here. And I simply cut the rubber off of it.
How fun is this? Now, my kids, this is what they really like, waging war against nature.
And then you just simply chip the very top edge out.
Because remember, this freezes from the outside in.
It helps if you actually do it with a ice pick
Oh,
instead of a knife.
do we have an ice pick?
I
No.
could not find an ice pick anywhere. So once you kind of have a hole in it, then you simply,
Here, do you want to drain it in here? Oh, you got it.
I got it right there.
All right, we're draining right now. In
And
the
once you
sink.
drain it, you can take it out of the bowl.
Okay.
Take the rubber off of it.
Got it?
Okay, here, let's leave it in the bowl.
Okay.
There we go.
How fun is
And then you simply start chipping away until you get the size hole that you want. Now this one has been in the freezer longer, so the sides are a lot thicker, which means that it takes a little bit more time to chip out the hole.
And depending on what we're using these ice globes for, if we're using it for a candle, I want it thinner so I can see through it. If I'm using it for shrimp or something that I want to keep cold, I'll try to make the sides a wee bit thicker.
And one thing you can do that we're not doing here is you can actually take a saw
And
just simply hand saw the top off and make a bowl out of it, make an actual bowl out of it.
And that's really pretty. We've done that and then laid the shrimp around it. And we get really excited. I know it sounds silly to what we're talking about, but there's so many cool things you can do with this simple application. I think it's one of the most fun things that we've ever made, aside from our chocolate, our big chocolate bowls.
Now one thing we do is I normally rinse it off once, and then I put it back in the freezer for about 30 minutes or so, and that just kind of sets it at that point. And it smooths out all the edges, and that, you know, it makes it look better. You can see how this one's so much smoother than this is right now, and that's simply because it's had time to melt.
And to complicate things or make things even more interesting, don't forget, you can freeze things within things. So for example, Mike and I have frozen berries in here. Okay, so this would not be clear ice. This would have berries again, or
On it.
greenery. For other times of the year, we've done lemons, limes, lemon leaf. So there are lots of different ways you can take what we're showing you now for the Christmas holidays and again, make it for any time of the year. We use these for our daughter-in-law's luncheon, for her bridal luncheon, and it was, my gosh, it was in the summer, and you would think they wouldn't last. They lasted for about 5 hours, which was really great. Kept things cold, made things look absolutely beautiful. So again, 3-step process. Balloon, pretty easy. Freeze it, freezes from the inside out. No, outside in.
Outside in.
Just testing to see. And then you can create this magic. Hopefully today we've showed you lots of things that are really interesting, and I appreciate this. What we're going to do next time is we're also going to show you how to make, let's show them this because this is kind of fun.
It's just a carrier, wine carrier for wine glasses and wine. Very simple to make. This took me maybe 30 minutes last night. It's extremely simple. You can do it with basic tools, and you actually have a nice little product.
Now, before we leave, we do want to say this. Once again, because I'm all about creating a home sanctuary, what we did today was really trying to personalize the holiday and making your holiday special for you and your family. For us, it's making homemade things like these crazy things. For other people, it's baking cookies. It can be knitting and crocheting. It can be a lot of different things.
It can be anything.
I will say this before we leave, on a personal note, probably one of the most fun Christmases we ever had. What did we make for all the kids?
Oh, stilts.
We made stilts for everyone in our family. And I have to...
23 pairs of stilts.
It was pretty amazing, and all the kids got to paint them, so it was actually a lot of fun. We want to thank you all for joining us here on Lines on Design this holiday season. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.